Uh-oh. That's a 5-minute penalty, right? But it's still first down? Is that how that works?
I think so. I'm not really certain. Either way,
Oops, Lonk's house.
Yep. Exactly.
Hammer on Ped. Oh, thanks, man.
And just $20 to
Is that
start
possible?
in the...
Well, yeah, of course, because there are bosses that... There are many bosses you don't need the sword to beat. I'm just hoping for a not bomb opening, because although I did practice my bomb opening just a second ago...
Alright, so we got that distraction taken care of. So now we're gonna see what Uncle's holding today, and it's the Cane of Brian.
Wow, may as well have just given him a wet noodle there.
Cane of Brian is not one of the worst items to find in the escape sequence. Having commentated a bunch of the standard tournament that is still ongoing, the one thing you have to remember with the Cane of Brian is that the enemies will always be knocked up, and that's how you use it to your advantage. If you get them at the top of the wall, they won't bounce up, and so it's easier to kill them.
Well, that's actually interesting, and, well, being I guess, a new person to running Randomizer, and the sheer infrequency of using this Cane of Burna, well, yeah, it just happened on Kieran's stream there. Now Walters, yeah, they always shoot upward. I never noticed that.
Yep, that is some of the resourcefulness that you've seen in the standard tournament, is the different ways all of the runners have been using different weapons to kill the guards.
Well, usually I see, a bomb jump to skip a particular section in Ice Palace, for example. So those I've seen. But this is definitely different, for better or for worse.
Yes, so the Zelda Randomizer is all of the items that you would find in chests or on the ground somewhere in the overworld have been randomized, hence the name Randomizer. This is a special swordless mode where the swords are not in the item pool. Now, the randomizer is set up so that all seeds that are generated by the randomizer must be completed. So it's not going to put items where the runners cannot get them. So, for example, you need the bow to go kill the Armos Knights in Eastern Palace. Well, it's not, the randomizer will not put the bow on the Armos Knights because you need the bow to kill the Armos Knights.
Oh, for some people. I've seen it done without the bow. It's a painstaking 20-minute long process, but it could be done? Maybe?
Yeah, but we don't want to be that masochistic to the to our deer runners.
I don't know. Twitch chat might have an opinion on that. And
chat usually likes to give as much pain to the runners as possible, but the rando has to at least make sure that we complete these within I don't know. I mean, I gotta go to bed here by midnight.
Lightweight.
But anyway, with this being, unless this is the special key sanity mode, the dungeon items are still in their respective dungeons. So I believe we saw the two that are in Hyrule Castle, both the small key and the map. So everything else that will be in Hyrule Castle will be randomized items at this point.
So they could just as easily find a hook shot or a mirror, a moon pearl, if they were to have opened any other chests.
Exactly. Zarsign also pointing out the reason it's not the Armos Knights that is why bow can't be on them. It's because the red Igors can only be damaged by bow, and that's why. You are correct that the Armos Knights can be damaged by the swords. although it takes a lot of sword swings to do it. We got a mushroom in the sewers.
So it looks like we're going on a little fetch quest right at the start of the... See, you get the mushroom to get the powder to get the bat, if I recall correctly.
That would be correct. Willard having no problem with the final boss of Hyrule Castle, the Key Rat. And having farmed bombs, we're now going to see the 3 items in the back of Escape. We got Hookshot, the Mirror, and a heart container. Wow.
Whoa. I think I was wrong on just the Moon Pearl. On the items I called that could be in the chests here. Well, beginner's luck.
Yes. Now, one thing to note for anyone who's new, the item drops are randomized as well. So in the vanilla game, you wouldn't find bombs on any of the enemies. The item pools are randomized, so everyone was farming bombs to make sure that they got those 3 chests in the back of Escape.
Looks like Willard's the first to get out of the sanctuary and enter into the... Excuse me.
Into the overworld, yeah. All right, we got a map check. We got Eastern Palace as a crystal. Hera is a 5/6 crystal, and we got Vanilla Blue Pendant at Desert Palace. But yeah, Willard was first out. He also corrected me. I thought we had saw the map. We didn't. And because we hadn't seen the map, it obviously was in the Sanctuary chest, which is why none of the runners opened the Sanctuary chest. We got a piece of heart in Lost Woods to start. Willard's going to show us what is in the Lumberjack Ledge.
That looked like a book.
That looked like some literacy. We'll see it again on current screen. Yeah, that's a book.
I think they're going to want to go get that at some point, won't they?
Realistically, well, okay, so here's the thing. The book is needed. You either need Mirror, Titansmiths, and Flute to get to Desert. Oh, wait, Aga 1. You don't need, it's not Pedestal. I forgot about that. Aga requirement is not equal to Pedestal requirement.
Oh, but we're still rooting for both. The dream's not dead yet now, is it?
This is true. But anyways, the whole reason why I was getting on this topic was you only need the book for Desert Access and the tablets. So it's one of those things that unless like they comb the entire overworld, hey, there's
by Walther.
Yeah, it was. I doubt they'll be going for that book unless they comb the entire overworld and I'm still missing an item.
That's what I see. Red boomerang in a bottle also picked up in the basement there.
That is correct. That'll give us access to Sick Kid.
Let's see, playing around underground here, Walther is. See what he's got there. A piece of heart. See 3 more chests here. Another piece of heart. Oh. Matching pair of boomerangs.
But nothing else other than that.
Oh. Just a moon pearl at the bottle vendor.
I mean, just a moon pearl. I mean, it's not like you need it for the Dark World or anything.
Oh, I wanted to make a joke and blew it. Timing's everything.
It happens. All right, well, Walther is going to activate that flute. We'll see Willard get opened up. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you join us for the playing of the National Swag Deck Anthem. And with that, the Hawk's about to rock, and we salute you.
Please remember as a public service announcement to take your hats off for the playing of the Hylian national anthem in the future. Willard a little off with the bomb there.
Off with the bomb and off with the chicken clip also.
Well, what do they got here now? 9 hearts? Or 10 now? Picking up that heart container.
This has been a very healthy seed so far. Walther also going to show us what Sick Kid has, which is more health.
Oh, let's see. Hook shot. Well, flute can pretty much get you around almost anywhere. Do you just keep going down? Check the, what's that? Not the shovel game, but,
the race game.
Yes.
Yep.
I remembered the Dark World one. I know they don't have boots and can't check the library. Well, they can check it, but...
Yeah, and they will, and you're seeing them check it in case they need to come back. You also see that Walther saw a big 20 at the race game, so he's not going to run it. Usually, most runners will save and quit and then go to South Shore, but with the flute, we're actually going to see Walther check Desert Ledge, which is just $5, and now going to check the oft-ignored Aegina's Cave. And Willard is actually right on his heels towards that oft-ignored Aegina's Cave.
Oh, there's one chest, and you have to go through 3 screens to get it. 4, actually, with a bomb.
Mm-hmm. And all of that for just a little bit of love.
So we got draining the swamp here from Plasma Kappa and Kieran.
And just a big 20 when you drain that swamp, so Plasma Kappa is not even going to bother with it. Kern, on the other hand, is going to pick up that money.
Got to have that money for the run off to Eastern Palace, save up for Zora, you know?
Exactly. Plasma making quick work of the mini troll arms with the hook shot. So we've got 5 items coming in quickly. We've got powder. We got a big 20. We got 10 arrows. $50 and a 5-arrow upgrade.
It could have been better. Could have been worse.
Now, granted, I suck at this game, so I love seeing powder.
Gotta make those fairies, huh?
Exactly.
Well, now they can visit the witch now, once they get around to that part of town, right?
Certainly. We're going to see Plasma head over to Sahasrahla, check what's inside his closet, and maybe make a dip into Eastern Palace. Curran actually is going to check that mushroom you were talking about.
So Willard and Walther catching up here by going into the mini Moldorm cave.
Ooh, we got water toes and half magic in Sahasrahla's closet today.
Well, that was slightly more eventful than powder.
All right, and with those flippers, Plasma's going to check, do the Lake Hylia checks. Does not have enough money for Zora, but can pretty much check everything else. And it's actually going to start with Waterfall of Wishing. Walther showing us Ice Rod Cave has a Quake Medallion.
Oh, filling up a bottle. Plasma is tossing it in.
Yep, it will be random what the fairy gives them. And today the fairy gives Beetorps.
I think he was hoping for something a little more substantial, like even a red or a green potion.
Yep. But $300 in Waterfall of Wishing is certainly going to help with Zora, but Plasma is still $100 shy. The Zora Ledge just holds a big 20, so we're just going to nope out from there.
Oh, Willard following suit and throwing a bottle. Now, is it completely random, or are they all going to get a B?
They will all get a B. Because the randomizer is intended for speed running, yes, it is randomized, like a Power Glove inside Spectacle Rock on Kern's screen. That will be randomized, but things that could affect the who could win a race, like, for example, a fairy giving B-torps or potions, those are going to be the same for the seed no matter who runs it. Things like Aghanim balls in Aga 1 and 2, Ganon teleports, things like that, we keep it even so that way it's not luck as to who would win.
Okay, so let's say the first pattern for Aghanim 1, if it were to be a seed that required him, everyone would have a certain number of, well, blue balls before a regular shot that could be reflected back would then be fired off.
Yes. So far we're not finding much in Paradox Cave, but we got 5 items coming up after that. I will answer your question once we see what those 5 items are.
So is the hammer basically going to be the main method of attack? Because, well, they have no other pointy things. It's pretty blunt,
Yep.
this run.
Pretty much. And we got a pair of footwear in the Paradox Cave. What you'll also notice was that there was a green 20 rupee, which means that was one of the 4 swords that is in Swordless mode. It's replaced with those green 20 rupees.
Well, they're going ahead and picking up his half magic and flippers now out of Sashrala's basement.
Especially after fake flippering all over the waterfall area. Okay, so to answer your question, to go back to the one about Aga 1, for example, Aga follows a pattern where of 5. So the first one will always be a reflected yellow ball. The next 3 will be random, but it will be the same pattern for all the runners. Oh, I missed what was on Floating Island. And then 5 will be the lightning strike, and then it'll do another pattern of 5 from there. It was Ether is on the Floating Island.
Now, that's only needed if it's Turtle Rock and Mystery Mire that,
Yes.
no, what's the other one that has the requirement?
You had it right. So Turtle Rock and Misery Mire have the medallion requirements to open them. Those are also randomized in the randomizer. Bombos, the Freezor enemies in that are in Ice Palace, especially the one that blocks you from, well, getting into Ice Palace. There are special Bombos floor patterns to where if you have the Bombos medallion, you can use them in those specific places without the sword to kill them. Other than that, medallions are completely useless in Swordless mode.
That's exactly what I was going to go toward, because I'm kind of going, all right, we just talked about this before where, you know, the Quake medallion, which Walther has, I'm going, all right, well, it's only used for potentially 2 things, and it's opening those dungeons, and that's it?
Pretty much.
Interesting. I'm learning almost on the fly here, especially with this being such a unique mode compared to everything I've seen that had me interested in, oh, well, let's do the commentary for this because, well, I've got nothing better to do.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, to your point, that's the thing about Swordless mode is that your most dependable item in Zelda is not available in this game. So you have to use the other weapons in order to be able to progress through the game. So hammer is of course going to be your most reliable without the sword, but you know, that's where using the bow, the canes, the rods, and bombs, using those to just get through the game. We actually see Walther taking a dip into Hera. Now without the hammer, Walther is not going to be able to kill Trolldorm.
So there's no alternative way to get rid of Trolldorm, like hitting him with a bomb somehow.
Nope, Trolldorm can only be damaged by hammer and sword, and since, well, there's no swords, you got the hammer and that's it.
Yeah, that does kind of narrow it down a little. So is it just a matter of going through and trying to find whatever you can for Walther here and opening chests?
I would imagine that's what he's doing. He's also probably forgetting that he may also be forgetting. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, I kind of, yeah, okay, they have the mirror, they can mirror out. I kind of went, wait a second, he's stuck.
Yep.
No boots to bounce off and continue forward, but...
Right. Now, one thing he could have also been doing is that Turtle Rock and Hera, if they're crystal dungeons, as we know Hera is, that also sets you up nicely to go to Ganon's Tower. So what Walther could have been doing is checking the 2 items in Hera, not finding the hammer, and leaving because you're going to have to come back here anyway. You found the items, so you just need to kill Trolldorm right before you go into GT.
Well, it looks like Kieran is going to go visit Zora.
Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Zora Domain Slam Poetry Corner. There once was a fish named Zora who gives you flippers and vanilla, and rando he sucks, but not today so much. $500 get you the Titans mix. I totally screwed up that poem.
That's all right. Zora usually screws everybody up and, you know, oh, well, I'll give you a 5% return on your investment. Today's investment was slightly more profitable.
And that gives Kern Dark World access.
So the dream of an Aga seed is dead. What a shame. I still have Pedestal to fall back on with my hopes and dreams.
Well, there is one possibility where Aga could still be required. The Fat Fairy that is at the pyramid that is used by opening the 5-6 crystals. If you do not have the hammer, you can't hit the hammer pegs to get to the pyramid to drop the bomb. In which case, the only other way you can do it is by going through the portal that is opened up from killing Aga 1.
Oh, that's brutal.
Although, Mind of Me in chat is reminding me that Aga is dead because of the fact that Hera is a 5-6 crystal. You need the hammer to kill Trolldorm. So, yes, unfortunately, Aga is dead.
It was good while it lasted.
All right, we got a map check in Dark World. Swamp Palace is your other 5-6 crystal. Mire is a red pendant. Ice Palace is a green pendant. We're going to see Kern head into Skullwoods first.
Okay, so we won't know what medallion would be required until they actually go over there and see firsthand which medallion's required to get into Turtle Rock and Misery Mire.
And just like that, Willard J. Bradley is going to show you because he's heading for the Mire area.
Oh, well, that was convenient timing.
All right, so it was Quake. So if Willard doesn't have the Quake medallion, but Kern and Walther did. So at this point, they have what they need to get into Mire.
So on the off chance that it was required for, say a pedestal seed, they would already have the medallion to go in there, and they're good to go.
Yes, and the thing is, with it being a pedestal seed, any items you need to clear the pendant dungeons cannot be on the pedestal, because you need the pendants to pull the pedestal.
Oh, so that's going to remove another couple set of items then, won't it, from what is possible to show up?
Exactly. For example, because of Desert Palace, as we saw the book, the other way you can get into Desert is how Willard showed us, by using the flute, the glove, and the mirror. You need a fire source, so either the fire rod or the lamp can't be there because you need it for that. Mire, being where the Cane of Samaria is needed for the basement, so the Cane of Samaria can't be on the pedestal in this seed.
So that's starting to really narrow down what could be on the pedestal that would make them need to go get it. That's a shame.
Yeah, pretty much Ice Rod for T-Rock. Right now, maybe, well, we found Ether. We know Ether's on the floating island.
Picking up a burrito, that's nothing too spectacular.
Nope, and he has no fire source, so he can't go kill Lammelus. So yeah, Ice Rod and Bow are pretty much the only things that could be on the pedestal. Or the Silver Arrows.
Well, they'll definitely need the bow, and they'll definitely need the Silver Arrows. Where would they need the Ice Rod?
Trinex.
Yes, okay.
In fact, Ice Rod can be one of those trolley items in Randomizer, because that's literally the only thing you need the Ice Rod for, which means it can pretty much be almost anywhere, except on Trinex.
Ouch. All right, so I'm going to put you in their shoes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what they know right now, I mean, are there any dungeons that you can complete at this point, or is it still looking for the hammer in every possible way?
The hammer is really gaining them from really completing a lot of the dungeons. There's some items that could help out at this point. If you had Fire Rod, that could finish up Skullwoods. Cane of Samaria would help with killing Blind. Cane of Brian, you actually could kill Blind with the Cane of Brian. The problem is that the big chest in Thieves Town is blocked by hammer pegs. So that is one item location that you will miss. But as you're seeing, Walther is gambling that and going into Thieves Town with a weapon that can kill Blind, which is the Cane of Brian, and just going to gamble that there isn't an important item in the Thieves Town big chest. And it's Bombos that you need for Turtle Rock.
So Quake's basically gonna be needed for Misery Mire, Bombos for Turtle Rock, and that just leaves Ether as the odd medallion out.
Pretty much.
Well, there's a fire source. That was a lamp for Willard.
Yes, so that would open up Lammelus, but Desert being a pendant. Although I actually don't know if the Cane of Brian can damage Lammelus. But to get to the heart of your question, I would probably be doing what Walther is doing right now, because with exception of the Thieves Town big chest, Thieves Town is the one pendant dungeon you can clear right now with the Cane of Brine and Half Magic, and usually you want to try to focus on crystal dungeons if you can complete them.
Well, I hear the crystals are what you need to unseal Dark Ganon's tower to take down Ganon at the end of the game, so that strategy usually helps you win.
Exactly. That is the name of the game, my friend. Firestar Play PVZ has given us a subscription with a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. Your donations and subscriptions help out all the Speed Gaming network of channels, and we thank you. All right, now we've got 2 of our runners into Thieves Town, and Kern and Walther the Fourth.
It looks like Willard's not too far behind. He's playing the chest game and going to get another piece of heart. And it looks like he'll be on his way in.
But yeah, you did, as you saw, the runners were going to different overworld locations. Usually, a lot of it depended on the density of items. Like in Dark Death Mountain, there were 6. You had the items around here. Plus, there's also the locations near Thieves Town that Plasma had checked. But now you're seeing a convergence where all the runners are heading for Thieves Town because that is the crystal dungeon that can be completed.
Let's see, Walther picked up another heart, putting him on 12, and now it's the escort mission of bringing Blind to his blind spot. Or is that her?
I see what you did there. All right, well, Walther the Fourth has Blind for his usual pun, and gonna get out that Cane of Brine and start swirling around on those heads.
Oh, a bomb upgrade in the shovel game. Willard just says no thank you. Plasma's on his way into Thieves Town now as well. And
just like that, Walther the Fourth has Blind down, gets a compass for his troubles, and the first crystal of our featured runners 32 minutes in.
It's like Willard's picked up a friend here, Jeremiah the Bullfrog.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours, and gonna take him on a little Froggy World Tour. Ooh, and a fire rod at the South Grove Cave.
That might be useful.
Especially for killing a certain moth that these runners are not too fond of.
Oh, I would have just called in Godzilla.
What's interesting is Willard is taking Jeremiah in the Froggy World Tour. When you got the mirror, you could have just took him home the easy way.
I think with the compulsive quest for the hammer, you just kind of may have overlooked that the easy way could have been just using the mirror.
Either way, he's going to take Jeremiah to Hype Cave, so wonder what level of hype we're going to see in our favorite Hype Cave today.
Well, it's entirely possible that it might be just too hype for Willard to handle himself.
Well,
oh, there's the ice rod. Hello.
That's certainly hype enough. There's another $20 sword upgrade. Blue mail, $20, and a 10 arrow upgrade. But that ice rod certainly ups the hype a little bit.
Not for me. That's another thing that can't be on the pedestal now.
Yeah,
it's killing my hopes and dreams, one by one here.
Yeah, we're pretty much down to either the bow or the silver arrows. Man, Willard is giving Jeremiah the full tour today. Now, one thing to note earlier when we were talking about things that the randomizer keeps even for the runners. The dig game is one of them. So you saw all of those digs that Willard had to do to just get that bomb upgrade. Walther and all the other ones are going to have to do likewise.
I think it was 24, if I counted correctly. It was a really high number.
I also think Kern missed his drop trying to go check Magic Bat. Oh, we got Kana Samori on the pyramid ledge.
Well, this little world tour is working out for Willard. Ice Cave, or Ice Cane, 2 items so far. If I knew this would be so easy, I'll bring the blacksmith around with me everywhere.
In fact, at this point, we're 3 items from... well, 4 technically. We're 4 items from Go Mode. Hammer, Bombos, Bow, and Silver Arrows. Normally, Silver Arrows wouldn't be a requirement to finish the game because you can do Ganon Silverless, but that usually is when you have a sword to spin. And, well, when you don't have that, yeah, those Silver Arrows are going to be kind of important.
Yeah, the only spinning you're going to be doing is with the Canaberna here, I believe.
Very nice, but I'm laughing because Kern got Fisher-Price My First Shield from the bat and let the bat know how he felt about it.
Oh, I saw that too, but Plasma finishing off blind here, collecting his first crystal. Or their first crystal, I should say.
But so Fire Rod would allow Skullwoods to be full clearable. So I would have to imagine that's probably where the runners, if they don't find this hammer on any of these checks, Skullwoods is probably going to be next up on the docket.
Well, it's only Willard and Walther that have the Fire Rod so far.
Yeah, but the way where Kern and Plasma are, they will most likely route that in shortly after doing the digging game and getting Jeremiah.
Very true. Plasma Kappa is getting Kappa'd here with the dig game. About another 12 more digs to go, and the prize at the bottom of this Crackerjack box I don't think anybody wants.
And Willard is catfished again with that big 20.
So they would have a level 3 sword right now if that were actually in the game, wouldn't they?
Well, it's not that big 20. There's a green 20 rupee. That's what the sword upgrades are replaced with.
You are right. I completely forgot about that.
But to your point, we've seen 2 of them. So if this was not a swordless seed, we would have been at Master Sword at this point.
So the blacksmith got turned in. Didn't seem to be anything too thrilling.
Nope, was this another big 20?
Did everybody go to Zora? Did I miss something?
Yep, they have all got the Titan's mitts.
Okay, because I've been looking around and I'm like, wait a second. I thought only one person went to Zora. I guess while I was watching one person and seeing what was going on, or somebody else sneaks off to Zora in the interim on me. I'm old, I get confused easy,
That's also the peril of doing a four player race. You have to watch 4 streams at once, and it is easy to miss something. Now, for those asking in chat, because this is swordless mode, the curtain that you would normally need to cut with the sword has been pre-cut in swordless mode. So as Walther is making his way to Mothula, he is not making a mistake. He is going to be able to go kill that moth.
Looks like Kieran is going to turn in the chest.
Yep, he's gonna go take that lunchbox to Gary.
Oh, another piece of heart. Let's see.
Yes.
Oh, it just stays there. It doesn't return to sender. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there going, oh no, he's running away from the chest. It'll just like rubber band back to wherever it started from. Which I believe is the Dark World blacksmith.
Yeah, that is where it will go. Now, as you see there, Kern is leaving it to go check Hype Cave, but it will be there when he gets back. If you switch from Light World to Dark World, then it will disappear and go back to the Dark Blacksmith shed.
Oh, Walther running out of magic while putting the hurting on Mothula there.
But
potion at least.
Yes, I saw that earlier. He adeptly went to the Magic Witch to get a green potion and used that to finish off Mothula for a map and a crystal.
That looked like a burrito to me.
Tomato, map, burrito.
I see your point. I think right now I'm quite interested in what we've got hidden in the box here, and Kieran's going to reveal its contents. Oh, 300 rupees.
A lot of money, but money's not what we need right now. We could really use a hammer at this point.
Now, with Mothula's positioning, is it when the shadow is over the spikes that the hits don't count?
Well, it's not the shadow, but when his body is near the spikes. The way the Zelda logic was the Link to the Past logic was coded. Why am I blanking? Mothula will not take damage if he gets run into by the spike. So that will be overridden by whatever he was hit with. So that's why you need to make sure that Mothula stays away from the spikes, because if he gets hit into it, the damage, air quotes, damage from the spike will cancel it out.
Interesting. So it's even the spikes that are going around from side to side that would stop Mothula from taking damage.
Exactly.
Okay. That was something I always wanted to ask about and could never remember. And then I'm like, wait, I'm the commentator. I can just ask the question.
You certainly can. Now, what's also interesting about that, now granted, again, this is swordless mode, but the spikes actually do butter sword damage. So in NMG, if you happen to get butter sword, I mean, when you're running NMG, why would you? But still, follow me. You would not be able to damage Mothula with the butter sword because it is the same damage. In the randomizer, we fixed that, and instead, butter sword just for Mothula does tempered sword damage, so you can actually damage Mothula with the butter sword.
So that's just more proof that the tempered sword is just better. Because you can't even kill a boss if you have the level 4 sword. That's no fun.
As a wise old Jedi once said, it depends on your point of view.
Well, there's going to be no points in this one, so nobody has a point of view.
Fair point.
Oh, I see what you did there.
All right. Now, Willard is going to be heading into Ice Palace. He's got the fire rod so he can go in, but this is a gamble because without the hammer, you're not going to be able to get Cold Stare, and there's going to be 2 chests he will not be able to get.
In the interim, Kieran had checked the checkerboard cave and saw that there was 20 rupees in just turned around, walked away. Didn't seem too interested.
Also should point out that Ice Palace is a pendant, so in some ways, you may not want to have to go to Cold Stare.
Now, I don't believe Willard has any filled potions at this point.
No,
and
I don't
you would, even with half magic, you would use the fire rod and just keep using the fire rod? Or is there some other method to kill the eyes once this, I guess, second stage of the fight begins?
So I know, again, that's all pending on the fact that we don't have the hammer and can't even get to Cold Stare. With half magic, as the name implies, you would only have to drain half of your magic bar in order to get to Cold Stare, or in order to unfreeze Cold Stare, so you would have half of it to shoot fireballs at him. As for other weapons that can damage Cold Stare, I think it's hammer and fire rod, and that's it.
Okay, so limited options to get rid of Cold Stare then if they have to come down to it. You know, you gotta remember, the dream is still alive in my mind, so I'm going, alright, at some point they're still gonna have to complete this dungeon. Until the dream's dead, you know, I gotta hope for something.
Yeah, hope away, my friend. Yep. Pretty much. Actually, checking the Zelda wiki, looks like I don't think hammer can even damage Cold Stare. Looks like it's just fire rod. I'm pretty sure, though, I've seen hammer damage Cold Stare and Randomizer, though.
Well, now I'm even more rooting for the pedestal seed, just so I can see what would happen. So that would be inconvenient if you run out of magic. If one of the eyes happen to get away from you and run out of magic, there's got to be some other way to finish it off.
Yeah, chat reminding me that you can damage Cold Stare with the hammer. But I mean, to your point. That's, you know, the way this game was coded, it did not intend for you to not have a sword. So, if you have to go to Cold Stare and you don't have the sword or the hammer, proceed with caution.
Minor details.
All right, but with that fire rod, we are going to see Walther go ahead and finish off Lamulus. Now, this is the last chest Willard can check if it's not hammer. And which is the burrito, so he's heading out.
So let's see, Kieran's now in, I believe, Tower of Hera.
And Kern is going to get the same rude awakening that he's not going to find hammer in here and not be able to finish off Trolldorm. Walther, having that fire rod, will be able to finish off Lamulus.
It's just light the torches here to get past the little puzzle to open the big key door.
Mm-hmm. And then either the fire rod or the ice rod will damage Lamulus, but of course, you want the faster rod for this one. And just like that, 6 fire rod shots to 3 heads, and down goes Lamulus for the silver arrows.
Now I'm down to 2.
Sorry, man.
It's all right. It's not about me. My hopes and dreams will recover eventually, but Kieran looks like he had a little trouble with setting up the coffee break.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you're setting it up, but Kern is just not gonna bother with trying to set it up anymore and is just gonna work his way to that room. But we've had at least 2 runners come here without fire sources and left the coffee break room untouched. So Kern's gonna give us some new information. And it's Bombos.
Well, that was useful at least. Wow.
Useful
for
in the
rock.
fact, yeah, which means
that might be
those
exactly
runners,
where he's going.
Those runners that don't have already been to Terra, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, the one problem with having Bombos is you still need Cane of Samaria to be able to get to get inside Turtle Rock after opening the door. And we know that's on the pyramid ledge.
Oh, let's see. How would Kieran kind of figure, okay, I'm going to go check the pyramid ledge at this point?
Well, you have flippers, so you can swim over there right now. Having the fire rod and Skullwoods being a crystal dungeon, Kern is doing what I would probably do, which is finish off Skullwoods first. And then, you know, we've seen Willard check Ice Palace. That was a bust. I know Plasma checked Eastern, and that was a bust. So we're realistically down the pod. Pod has got to have progression at some point, and that's... Funny enough, the 2 items you need for pod are the 2 items we really need right now, which is the bow and the hammer.
So we're looking at trying to figure out what isolated, out of everywhere, you know, fringe of civilization areas where there's one little chest hidden off that could have the bow or the hammer. Looks like Plasma is going to check the pyramid now. Going to be rewarded for it.
And realistically, we've seen all of those one-off locations from what the runners have checked at this point. I mean, it's really, we're down to pod.
So could one of those items be inside of pod before you would get gated out?
Yes. So there is going to be one chest that they can open. If it doesn't have a small key, we're bow locked out, which, again, we're down to pod, so you gotta imagine there's going to be a small key in that first chest. Hammer, you only need it to get to Trinex. Bow, you need it for 2 chests in the right side of pod. So the hammer and bow can both be in there, depending on where they are placed inside of pod.
But this is all predicated upon a key being in the first chest that can be checked.
Yep. And realistically, at this point, with where we are in this race, either a key or the bow has to be in that first chest of pod, because we've combed pretty much everywhere at this point.
Yeah, we know Willard's going for the purple chest, and we already know what's in that.
Chad also reminding me, there's the first chest in Swamp. That could have either hammer or bow. But, moment of truth, are we locked out of pod?
No,
nope,
it's a key.
We got a small key. So into pod we
Willard
go.
Shield.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
No, just letting you know that Willard has his shield finally from the bat. Walther getting paid off for delivering the chest. Kieran going back into the Dark World, but I'm not entirely sure what for.
Well, that is, without the hammer, that's the only Dark World portal you can get to. So if you want to go anywhere in Dark World, you have to go back to that location. There's the big key in Pod and its vanilla location. So, you know, if Kern wanted to go to Pod, he has to start from that portal, because without the hammer, he can't go through any of them.
Ah, okay. I apologize for the rookie question, but, you know, I figure it's better to ask a question than just assume, okay, what's Kieran doing? Going back in under Sword, you know, the swamp? He just finished that area. Or, excuse me, Skullwood.
But he's actually gonna, speaking of which, he's gonna check that first chest in Swamp Palace. And by the way, I'm happy to help for my friend. I'll be here to answer any questions you got for me. Well, at least randomizer related.
Ah. Here, I had so many things to ask you, but I don't think we have time for them.
Nope. There's Swagnet in Pod and another small key. All right. So, the first chest in Swamp Palace always has to be a small key for the door. The next one after that will be an item. We got a bottle of green goo in Pod, so we're still looking for progression. But could it be this chest in Swamp Palace? Let's see. Nope!
Sorry, we have a compass for you instead. Believe that would be the Zoink.
Yep.
Or the Zonk. What did they call those in Let's Make a Deal? When you got like the donkey, or, you know, the old broken down car. The Zonks or Zoinks or something like that.
I don't know, that was before my time. Plasma was alright, so we didn't find any progression in Pod, but we did find a piece of chivalry.
Now, what could that possibly open up?
The dig spot, in the Haunted Grove. So that means, realistically, you gotta use the shovel in order to get either the bow or the hammer.
So this is just a massive fetch quest at this point.
See, I don't have Vitasia's pipes, so I can't serenade chat. Instead, I'll just pull out the old meme of, yo dog, I heard you like fetch quests, so I put a fetch quest in your fetch quest, so you can fetch quest while you fetch quest.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Alright, but with that shovel, Plasma is going to head over to Haunted Grove, so we are going to see what that shovel does lead to. At this point, I gotta believe it has some form of progression. But let's see. Kappa pulls it out. Strike the earth.
Nope.
It's a heart container.
Willard using the bottle glitch to get past... what are those three things called? The ones with the eyes, you gotta shoot them with the bow.
Mimics. In the Dark World, they're mimics. Now, logically, this is a sequence break, but it didn't have anything of importance because the bow wasn't there.
Well, it couldn't have been there, could it? Because it was a sequence break. But he could find something else, say the hammer, for example.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that if we found something that was locked by the bow in there, then what you would know is that you needed the bow to go get it.
Okay. So the likelihood of the hammer or the bow being in this dungeon at this point is minimal?
Non-existent, because we've checked everything. I'm trying to think what I mean, we haven't checked Meyer. And
that's what I'm trying to do myself. I'm going, all right, think. Of all the games I've seen, of all the times I've run through this on, 30 years ago, on my Super Nintendo, I'm like, all right, where are those out-of-the-way places where, an item could be, and I'm just kind of forgetting about it?
There is one obvious one we've been forgetting about that we saw from the moment this race started. The book on the lumberjack ledge. And we just got the swag net, but we still need the cape to get into Aga Tower.
Oh, man. So that means an item on Ognim.
Well, no,
or
no, there wouldn't be an item on Aghanim. The book is the item. From killing Aghanim, that opens up the tree for Lumberjack Cave. But, chat pointing out we haven't done. Well, no, we can't do Spike Cave because we need the hammer to do Spike Cave. Man, what am I forgetting?
I'm going through the exact... Oh, that was interesting. Walked right through the portal by grabbing the...
Yep.
The block.
Yeah, if you're carrying an item, you will not go through the portal. So, bomb, Canis Samaria block, that will do it.
Looks like it's time for a bomb jump for Kieran to get over to that big chest. Now, with all the pausing, are you trying to stop the blocks from falling? Or just set yourself up in the right spot?
You're trying to set yourself up. It slows down the animation to do the hammer. It slows down the animation, so you're trying to do it frame by frame of the falling bridge to make sure that you're lined up perfectly for the hammer.
Oh, there's a shovel.
Someone in chat saying we haven't done Zora. We have. Titan's mitts were there.
Yeah, Zora was a real good investment this game. Now, there's not some crazy rule that's in the fine print where you can, sequence break some part of it and find the thing we need, like the bow or the hammer.
No, this is just a daily race, so your mileage may vary, and it's runner's honor. Normally in these ones, you can do minor glitches, you can't do major ones. So like bottle glitch, doing dark rooms without the lamp, those are within possibility, even though they're not in logic. But realistically, we've combed over most of it. I know chat has been saying that you need the hammer to activate the medallions, but
well, for the tablets, yes. So like the Bombos tablet and the Ether tablet, you would need the hammer to activate those.
Yeah, but I'm talking about getting into Misery Mire itself. I thought you could just use the medallions at the entrance points. I don't think you need hammer to activate Quake to get into Mire, which Plasma may be doing, but we're gonna see.
Yeah, we'll find out real quick. No?
Yep, I was right. You don't need the hammer to do those.
Well, Willard was over there and he had the Quake medallion and had run away.
So Meyer has to have progression then.
Well, it's a better hope than just kind of, being in the what are we missing sort of, point where we're just all going, all right, there's nowhere this could be. What am I missing?
Yeah, and realistically at this point, well, okay, here's the thing. So now that that is confirmed, that means progression doesn't have to be in Meyer because it could also be in Turtle Rock.
That's very true.
Oh wait, no, because you need the hammer to open the
get
portal.
into Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
there's no back door into Turtle Rock, is there?
No. So Meyer pretty much has to have progression at this point.
So that means bow or hammer. It doesn't necessarily need to be either specifically.
Well, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we found all 3 items in Eastern. If we did find all 3 items, then bow can't lead to anything because we already saw what the potion glitch showed, which was nothing. So I gotta think, unless there's an item on the Armos Knights, this has to be hammer.
Okay, so we would be in a state of the game where just kind of stuck if there's no hammer in Misery Mire then.
Yeah. And logically, the way the logic is set up, which has been pretty good 29 versions in, unless there's a bug, we're gonna find hammer. Oh. Sadistic chat also pointing out it could be the cape, which then leads to that book.
I approve of that one. But only because my dream of a pedestal seed would still be alive.
Alright, Willard got Bombos. There's the big key in Meyer.
I'm down to 2 possibles, and it's the bow and the hammer that could be on the pedestal. If
Hammer
at all. And we've
hammer-
already ruled out the hammer now at this point.
Yeah, hammer can't because you need it for Ice Palace. To get to Cold Stare.
Well, Walther almost had it not right on the edge there, so messing up the bomb jump. There it goes. Got it that time.
Willard tried to do the swag shovel dash and unfortunately was not able to, but still gets a heart container. All right, vanilla big key chest in Meyer, just a small key.
Catfish not having any of it and throwing a 20 rupee at Kieran.
Chat's saying that we're... Oh, stop! Hammer time!
Oh, here I was going and preparing my karaoke machine, and I was going to give you some, can't touch this. Well, I don't want to scare all the viewers away. Got all excited.
And there's the second item in Meyer, which is triple bombs, so out we go.
So
right,
it's bow or bust for the ped seed right now, then.
Pretty much. And with that hammer, all the pendant dungeons can be completed at this point.
So there's still a chance.
Yes, there is still a chance. Now,
Willard finishing up the swamp and getting the blue pendant in anticipation of the pedestal seed. So he's one step ahead of everybody else right now. Well, not
I
really.
think Walther did kill Lamulus because he also has the silver arrows. Now, the one item dense location that we know for certain is left is Swamp Palace with 6 items, and Plasma is heading there as we speak. And Chad also pointing out Swamp Palace is the other 5/6 crystal with Hera. So once you kill Trolldorm, there's actually 8 locations that are behind Swamp Palace.
So that unlocks the Fat Fairy for potentially having an item as well at that point.
2 of them, and to be man, I'm blanking on the term.
Oh, that's all right. I'm old, you're tired. This is the perfect pairing here. Oh, not going to try to hook shot over to the... almost thought Walther was going to try to hook shot through the blocks and get to that big chest. Guess no big key yet at this point.
Probably. I don't know. I forget where the big key was.
Oh, if he finds it soon, well, no, he definitely didn't have it.
I believe when
Mirror,
Plasma
yeah.
was... I believe when... I don't remember. I'm not even going to try to say for certain.
Oh, neither do I. That's the whole problem.
Alright, so... Plasma is doing what most runners do at this point, and heading for Argus before doing left side swamp. The thing is, we did find the compass, so if we don't find the bow, you're gonna end up doing left side swamp because map and big key could be the 2 dungeon items, but the big key leads to an item in the big chest, and Kern has the hammer.
So an hour and 13 minutes in, we have our second featured runner.
And we have
their main weapon.
And we have a D confirmed in Swamp Palace. Plasma just picked it up. So, I'm sorry to say, Freako, but the pedestal dream is officially dead at this point.
Darn. It was fun while it lasted.
That also means we got no mode. We know where all the items are, but Plasma still needs to get the silver arrows, because Swordless, yeah, cannon's not fun without the silver arrows.
Well, Willard and Walther need to basically just catch up to finding the bow, and then they're in almost go mode at this point. I mean, they're both basically just, the hammer and the bow. And
they also
we
bombos.
know where they are.
They also need bombos. Well, Walther and Plasma need bombos from the Hera basement.
So right now, Willard and Kieran are a bow away. Willard's
And-
also missing the hammer.
which he's about to get. Willard is actually the closest to go mode at this point because he's got the silver arrows. Kern's got to get bow and silver arrows, but Kern's about to get the bow here in Swamp Palace. Plasma needs silvers and bombos. Walther needs bow, bombos, and hammer. So Willard actually is the closest from go mode, and you got to imagine if he goes into Swamp Palace after Meyer, he will be the first of our 4 featured runners to be into go mode.
So now at this point, it's really just going to come down to who routes the rest of the run in the best possible manner. Is it just execution at this point that's going to decide it, or?
Pretty much, because we've combed we've combed pretty much everywhere we can go at this point. So, I mean, you see it in their tracker. They have almost all of the items that can be found in this game, especially with not having four sword upgrades as well. So once they get into go mode, it's execution from there, because they've pretty much got everything else they could want.
So Willard needs to go into Hera for the bow, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Swamp Palace.
Swamp Palace, okay.
Yeah, and you actually see, even though Plasma is finished, Argus is still checking items in Swamp Palace because he still needs silvers and bombos. Willard, once he gets the bow in Swamp Palace, which is exactly where he's heading, that'll be go mode. He ain't coming back for the left side swamp.
Oh, I would fathom chests are not going to be opened once that bow's found on Willard's side of things.
No, it will not.
Ooh, Walther, was that a death warp out of there, or just oops?
I mean, he had the mirror. He got bombos, so I guess maybe death warp, even though you have mirror. I don't know.
I just caught it that he died, and I wasn't looking at that part of the screen, so I just missed it, and I'm like, oh, how'd he die? In the all-seeing eye of chat, I would assume be able to enlighten me on that regard.
Mm. Walther needs to remember you can use the medallions without the hammer. You can go to Meyer, Walther.
Well, he hasn't been to Meyer or Turtle Rock yet, has he? Well, there's no way he could go to Turtle Rock with what he has.
Nope. Come on, Walther. Go to Meyer. You can do it. We believe in you.
This has got to be the most painstaking, head-banging session for Walther going, all right, what did I miss? What am I overlooking? Where is that random, out-of-the-way location? Because he may well just be thinking that, well, without the hammer, I can't go into Meyer because I don't have the hammer. I can't activate the pedestal. Looks like he's going there.
There he goes. Now, we should point out that with this being a daily race, these are not the only 4 runners that are running at this point. These are just the 4 that we have decided to feature. So, just because of the 4 that we're watching, Willard is the closest to go mode, does not necessarily mean he's actually in the lead of everyone, of all of our runners today. It just means he's the closest, in first of the 4 that we have, that we can see.
So let's see here. What do we have? Plasma's on the quest for Bombos at this point.
And,
Willard the bow.
Plasma also needs
Silver arrows.
silver arrows. But Plasma, now having that hammer, is going to go check on Trolldorm, see if he has an item. We know he doesn't, but going to use that hammer to take care of our favorite troll, but trolled again.
You, sir, have been voted off the island.
Meanwhile, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 30 seconds, Willard J. Bradley is officially in go mode. And
That's
round two for our Kappa friend. Oh, and trolled again.
No, that's another 10-9 for Trolldorm there. It looks like he might have to win round 3 by a knockout to salvage this one. You can't just hold your sword out and keep yourself in place. That's not an effective strategy here. You're going to get knocked around if you hit him.
Mm-hmm. But Plasma's going to be disappointed that he does have to take a coffee break. We've seen 2 runners do this, but it is time to point out that because this is swordless mode, that means you are forced to do Menu Simulator 2018 to kill Argus.
Oh, there's no, yeah, you can't use any of the medallions.
Nope.
There's no way to cumulative damage with the hook shot. Oh, God. This is brutal.
Yep. You got to pull the puffballs with the hawk shot, go into the menu, switch to the hammer, and then flatten them.
Wow.
In fact, this isn't the only menu simulator, because with swordless mode, Trinex, you also need the hammer to damage the firehead. Oh, Kappa, why are you skipping the coffee break room?
Oh, no. It's like we know something that he doesn't.
Yeah, just a little.
The Argus Knights were left a $20 bill for their troubles. Or no, that was a 5.
But that is crystal number 4 for Kern. Still waiting on silver arrows, though. He will get his 5th crystal once he finishes off Helmassar.
He going back in for the big chest?
Nope. Willard's in go mode. He's just going straight for pod.
No.
Or are you talking about...
Kern looked like he went right back in.
No, he did Eastern Palace and then mirrored into the Dark World to then go to pod to kill Helmassar.
Oh,
he comboed them together.
I'm glad you're paying attention. So apparently I'm not. I just missed that.
No worries at all. We got each other's back.
So Helmassar is just a lot of hitting with the hammer and then a couple bow shots once the mask's down?
Yep. 3 bombs will also do it, but hey, we're speed running. We don't got time to wait for bombs to explode on a mask.
But there's only 3 of them as opposed to 14 hammer strikes. 3's less than 14.
Yeah, it's actually 17, but yeah, the hammer shots are a little faster than the bombs, and also easier to, shall we say, aim.
Now, just hip fire and hope for the best. Throw enough bombs out there, one of them's going to hit eventually, won't it? And there goes Plasma. Boop. Boop. Kieran right behind him. Boop Helmosaur's nose a little bit.
Willard won't be far behind from them. And as you see, Plasma is having to do 7, 8, not 8 arrow shots to finish off Helmosaur, whereas Willard will just need to do 1 silver arrow to the face.
Looks like it was only counting 1 shot for every time he was flashing, not all of them cumulatively.
Either way, Kern and Kappa have Helmosaur down for the crystal, and Willard won't be far behind. Walther is gonna make the dip into Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, we will not find a bow in there, but you can still kill Trinex.
Now, at this point, it's just a matter of getting what you can, I would think, for Walther.
I mean, you're just trying to find the bow. And the thing is, well, it's basically either 6 items to check in Swamp Palace or 6 items to check in Turtle Rock plus Mimic Cave. So he's gambling Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, today it will come up Snake Eyes.
He'll still get a crystal out of it. You know, there is that little minor consolation prize, I would think.
Yeah, that is true. However, he will then have to come back up the mountain in order to reach Ganon's Tower, whereas Willard will most likely do Turtle Rock and then do Hera last to go right into Ganon's Tower from Tower of Hera.
So it's that whole routing thing at this point that it's just going to lose Walther a whole bunch of time.
Exactly, and since Kern is still looking for silver arrows, he's going to Turtle Rock, but we know that Lammelus has the silver arrows.
Maybe somebody should let him know that minor little detail. Or would that be no fun? Would that be cheating?
That would be qualified as cheating.
It's only cheating if you get caught, though, right? Not that I'd want to encourage it, but, you know, hey. I'm sorry, my time as a wrestling referee is rearing its ugly head here.
Willard, could you... Thank you. You didn't have to leave all that noise pollution from taking care of those ropes. Or whatever those squid-like things are. Either way, ashes, the Armos Knights fall down. Willard has crystal number 5.
So Willard's path at this point is Turtle Rock, Hera, Ganon's Tower. That's just about it, right?
Yeah, that's a swag duck flight to the Big Pig after Ganon's Tower, and then that's game.
So everybody else is still looking for one item. Kieran and Plasma with the silvers, and Walther still looking for the bow.
That is correct. We know the silver arrows are on Lamulus. We know the bow is in the basement of Swamp Palace.
They don't.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't.
This is a laser bridge check. Walther is... No, that's just still part of Turtle Rock.
Yep. In fact, he bypassed Mimic Cave. And remembered he bypassed Mimic Cave. And now gonna go check Mimic Cave.
Bonk. Bonk. Ah, 2-for-1 sale. And we have a piece of heart. Now, if you have an empty bottle, you can use the net to get a fairy into the bottle, which would basically give you a, not so much an extra life, but death insurance.
Correct.
So let's see. Willard, Walther, and Kieran are all in various points of Turtle Rock now.
Yep. Kappa is in Ice Palace, still looking for the silver arrows, which are with Lamulus in Desert Palace.
Is that the blue medallion for Desert Palace? Looks like.
The blue
So
pendant?
yeah, excuse me. So that won't even lead to a Sashrala item.
Nope, which is why I imagine Kappa's doing Ice Palace, because there were 3 checks that we left with not having the hammer, plus Sahasrala's item from the green pendant.
Okay.
Now, someone in chat pointed out that it is possible to do Silverless Ganon with the hammer. It's just very ill-advised, shall we say, because that hitbox, those 2 frames that you can sword spin Ganon, in swordless mode, you can do it with the hammer, but the hammer's hitbox is notoriously, shall we say, what's the word? Bad.
A little laser brick check here with Kieran. Of course, we know there's nothing of real value that he would find. Oh, here's a Menu Simulator 2.0 against Trihex.
Yes, indeed. Walther, you didn't finish the redhead. And you know the blue head, you can damage him with the fire rod.
I think he's trying to make sure it doesn't shoot any ice out on the ground.
Yeah, he is trying to keep the floor clean.
So we go, well, looks like Kieran's got Trihex to the last step.
Yep.
Now it's just whack-a-mole with the hammer.
Yep. And just let the Trinex snake spin around you, and down goes Trinex for Kern.
Walther not going to be too far behind at this point. 1, 2, 3.
And red mail on Trinex, so you'll at least have that heading into GT.
So Willard already being in go mode is just opening chests for keys in dungeons at this point?
Yep, and with Turtle Rock, you need all 4 keys and the big key to get to Trinex, so that's why he's still hunting for him. But he's got the last key he needs, so I imagine he will skip Laser Bridge once he gets through this dark maze. And it looks like Kern is gonna head to Hera and may risk Silverless Ganon with the hammer.
Bold strategy.
He is a braver man than I am.
Now, it couldn't possibly still only be 4 hammer shots instead of 4 silver arrows. It would have to be more, wouldn't it?
Well, here's the thing. So with Silverless Ganon, it is 12 Tempered Sword spins in order to finish off Ganon. Now, I think the hammer does Tempered Sword damage, but that's not Tempered Sword spin damage. So I think it might be 24 hammer shots, but I could be mistaken.
Ooh, fun with numbers, and those are big. I don't have that many fingers. Now, Plasma in the interim had visited Sashrala again and got a piece of heart, so that green pendant not really paying off in the way Plasma was hoping for.
All right, but Kern has Trolldorm down, and that is crystal number 7 for Kern. We will see if he heads into Ganon's tower right after this. We know Willard will after he beats Trolldorm because he's got silver arrows. And Kern opens up Ganon's tower. We'll see if he chooses to go in.
Plasma playing the peg game and finding a bomb upgrade. Looks like might go after the chest at this point. No? Visiting the bat?
All right. Chat, doing our favorite big key guessing game, even though we don't do it for daily races. So 1 was a small key and 2 is $300. So we'll still, since you chat, you want to still put in those numbers, we can still do the game today.
Let's see, now the next one would be not necessarily the chest, or he's not even going that way.
Nope, there's 4 chests here in this room. Number 3 is $100. Number 4, $50. 5, triple bomb. 6, $5.
Big money, no whammies.
Picking up a small key and gonna mirror out and go left side.
Willard starting the Trolldorm fight.
All right, number 7 is the compass.
Willard ending the Trolldorm fight.
All right, number 8, $20. 9, heart container. 10. Heart piece. 11, small key. Number 12, another small key.
Well, that was uninteresting.
All right, Willard is in the Ganon's tower. Willard wasting a key and just going left. You normally don't use a key on that door, but anyway, 13. There's the last small key.
Well, we're getting into the teens now. Does that give Kieran any kind of an advantage, being that the key has been so elusive and not easily found so far over Willard?
1 moment, 14, map, 15, $300, 16, $20, 17, 5-arrow upgrade. Now, not so much, because it's going to be either tile room or in Bob's chest or Ice Armos, which if you go left or right side, you can still get to Ice Armos. Had it been in that randomizer room that Kern was in, that which way you go has a big advantage. But for this seed, being in the places it is, most runners are going to check almost all of the locations.
Well, in other news, we got Plasma doing a Fat Fairy check, and it looked like the second shield upgrade to the red shield and a piece of heart for the Fat Fairy.
All right, Bob's chest number 18. Triple bombs. Current sacrifices Bob for a health upgrade. Rest in peace, Bob. We hardly knew ye.
Plasma checking the catfish and going to have a 20 rupee thrown at him and noping out of there.
$19. There is the big key. All right.
So now it's just a race to the cop. And there's no real advantage here because Willard's going to end up checking that same chest all the same, right? Well, actually, Kieran's going to lose out a little bit because he's still looking for the silver arrows.
All right, so no one guessed 19. But I did see Storm Tenchano guessed 18, so again, we're not doing the leaderboard, Storm Tinchanzo, but we do have a consolation prize. We can give you a year's supply of randomizer seeds. Just go to ALTTPR.com to claim your prize. Offer valid only through version... Blah. Let me restart that. Offer only valid to version 30 of the randomizer. Also, offer completely ignores the fact that anybody can go to ALTTPR.com and claim the prize. The randomizer is for everyone. However, if your randomizer lasts longer than 4 hours, please consult a spoiler log. Check your doctor if you see any swords or canes randomly appearing in your house. Terms and conditions apply. Void where prohibited.
When I need to, have the legal speak for, the next time, I know who to go to have it done. That was a stellar performance.
I should also say at this point, now that Kern has entered the gauntlet, we haven't taken a chance yet, but please do give both of our runners a follow today. They have done quite an amazing job of entertaining us tonight. So please give Kern, Walter the Fourth, Willard J. Bradley, and Plasma Kappa follows on Twitch.
Oh, you remembered there are 4. Okay, because you said both. That implies 2. I was going to say you might want to, the other ones too. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I'm not perfect.
So let's see. This is a Lanmolis fight for Willard. Oh, Willard's got in front of Kieran already.
Yeah, those silver arrows will do that for you.
They'll be going into Aga 2 fight. No, seconds apart from each other. Ooh, Willard getting rejected and Kieran getting across the bridge clean.
Very nicely done with both Kern and Willard, using 2 Cane of Samaria blocks to mow down those dark wizrobes.
Willard getting the advantage back, getting through that bridge cleanly. Hopefully they don't run themselves out of magic here with lighting the torches.
There is a small magic pot underneath the 4th one, right where Willard is. He picks it up. And then there will be a full magic refill in that one skull on the right, but neither one decides to pick it up.
It's a speed run. Gotta go fast.
Ooh,
there's the cape.
Yeah, it is the cape. So, Act 1 could not be completed for that book until you got to GT.
Wow.
Chad also pointing out with the fact that Kern doesn't have the silver arrows, even though they are neck and neck. Realistically, they aren't neck and neck because Willard's going to have a much easier time with the Ganon fight. And Willard doing the correct thing and leaving Trolldorm's last possession where it belongs. Now remember, runners, don't be a thief. Leave things where they belong and don't steal.
Kern, would have said that just a little earlier.
Kern, I just said, don't be a thief. Got a double to start with the swag strats.
Oh, the net's the only thing that can reflect them, isn't it? Oh, that was interesting.
I believe that for swordless mode, the hammer can as well. But hey, you got swag. Why else? What else would you use?
So 2 on the first one, 3 on the second, missed the third, and finished them off with the 4th.
And just like that, it is time for the big pig.
Kieran right on his heels. So let's see, at 148... Willard jumps into the Ganon fight. Kieran's got to be just a couple seconds behind, maybe 10 or so.
Okay, Plasma made a fool of me. The gate is down on Aga Tower. That's the good news. You didn't need the cape to get into Aga Tower. The bad news is Plasma Kappa's going into Aga Tower. What are you doing, Plasma?
He wants the book. He saw that book an hour and a half ago. Oh, wow. You have to be right on top of Ganon to hit him. Willard missing so many times with the hammer. And you can't even switch over to the cape either, because then you can't use the hammer.
Exactly. That's the swordless mode for you.
Wow.
But Willard did get into phase 3.
Well, that tagged him the 3rd time there, so one more So now that looks like just a matter of hitting them with the arrows.
Yep.
Got the
4
torch
silver.
glitch.
Yep. 4 silver arrows to the face, and that's a game. Willard gets a double there. Won't be able to get a double here. Just gonna get 1, get to 3. So just 1 more to relight the torch. 1 more to go. And that will do it. Just gotta avoid the treacherous 3-block wide bridge, and Willard J. Bradley finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 23 seconds. Spam those GGs in chat.
Unfortunately for him, he was not, however, the first one done in the entirety of the race. We have 2 finishers before him. Inknun has finished in first with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, 16 seconds. And Ninban finished in second with 1 hour, 42 minutes.
Oh, am I going to bonk on this?
And 52
If
seconds.
not on the thing, then when I come out of the cave. Yeah, I shouldn't have mirrored there. That's a bad idea.
So it looks like Kern gave up on Aga and is heading for
Willard J.
Lamless,
Bradley, first of the restreams to finish.
and he will get those silver arrows off of Lamless. And joining us in chat is Willard J. Bradley. GG.
GG. Unexpected 3rd place. I'll take it.
Yes.
It seems like my dumbs actually paid off. Oh boy. Hi everyone.
Yeah. So, Hammer in Misery Mire. How was that?
See, I forgot. I haven't played a Swordless in a while, so I forgot one very crucial part of Swordless is that you don't need the hammer to use the medallion to get into Mire. So I basically full cleared until I was like, you know, maybe I misremembered something. Let's go take a quick check and see if that's a thing.
Yeah, that was pretty much what every one of the 4 runners we were watching did, and forgetting that. In fact, chat got me, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can use the medallions to get into Mire without the hammer. And then, like, sure enough, you could.
See, it's confusing, because, like, you need the hammer plus the book to check the tablets, but you don't need the hammer plus the medallions to open up Mire. I don't know, I guess this is the first time I've ever done a Swordless with a hammer in Mire. That's the first time I've ever had that happen, so the concept did not even pass my mind at all.
Well, lesson learned, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that because of my dumbs, because of not realizing that, I was able to find the silvers and bombos, which were both in kind of silly places, especially the silvers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you were the first of the 4 that we were watching to get into go mode once you found the bow in Swamp Palace. Kern was actually in GT with you, but had not found the silvers and tried to do hammer silverless Ganon and eventually bailed out.
Yeah, it's like I said in the IRC before the race started. Silvers are 100% required unless you're like a Tazpot or something. The window to actually hit him with the hammer, it's possible. I've done it, but to do it consistently enough and to actually take him down is it's asking quite a bit. So, and it's kind of one of the things that I'm realizing now about the silvers for Swordless is it's kind of like throwing in another ice rod, which is not too fun. So,
Well, you can use them in more than just one place, though.
right, but they're only required for one thing. Much like ice rod's only required for one thing to kill
Very
one
true.
boss. So they kind of are in that kind of same vein. I don't know. I when I was playing through the seed, I was thinking to myself, you know, it'd be great if you found silvers early and could use them throughout the seed, but regardless, once you get to Ganon without silvers, your bow just magically has silvers. It would probably make Swordless a little bit more inviting, because that's kind of a frustrating thing to always being looking for silvers for go mode, which I think happens a lot, much like Ice Rod. Nobody wants that.
No, they do not. Well, Kern does have that, those silver arrows off of Lamulus, is back into Ganon. Actually, was very adept at using the Cane of Samoria block to bounce him off of Ganon so he could get in as many hammer hits as he could. But yeah, from our vantage point, it pretty much, because of where the hammer and the bow were, most of you pretty much did an almost full clear of the world before finding the 2 items that really allowed you to complete most of the crystal dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once I got the hammer, I was thinking to myself, like, all right, do I want to do, T-Rock now or later? And I kind of just let my hands just control me where to go, and then it just kind of veered towards Swamp. I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this then. But yeah, that was a frustrating seed. I felt like I was so behind, especially like the Ice Palace dip without hammer and stuff. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the seed wasn't too bad. I double dipped so many dungeons though, and triple dipped Hera. That was good.
Yep, that was unfortunately pretty much what everyone had to do.
And we have another finisher. Thalane has finished in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 57 seconds.
Kern won't be too far behind as he's now into phase 4. I lost count of where he's at. But there it is. There's 4, so just avoid the perilous 3-block wide bridge, and Kern will be able to done. And just like that, Kern has finished in 5th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 3 seconds. GG's to Kern.
Walther on Lenmolus 2, Plasma Kappa still looking for something, or has the hammer, looking for Bombos.
Yep, Bombos is at the Hera basement.
And it looks like Tower of Hera is listed as completed on his tracker, so he'd have to go back just for the basement item. Walther on his way across the 2nd bridge. Jukes out the mini Ganons and
And we are now joined by Kern in chat. GG.
Thank you. GG, Willard.
Yo, GG, man. I heard he beat me to GT, but without them dang old pesky silvers.
Well, that's probably the only reason why.
Oh, man, good times.
Yeah, I was like, I almost went into desert 2 or 3 times, and then I was like, nah, this is fine.
I full cleared everything looking for the hammer, so it actually helped me out in the end, but I was feeling so behind. Oh gosh.
Did you did ice too without hammer, hammerless ice?
Yeah, I did that first. I did that very early, like before even going to Eastern and Pod. I was feeling saucy and hoping that luck would kick in, and it certainly didn't.
That's rough.
Yeah. Worked out.
pretty much the way this seed worked out with the hammer being in Misery Mire, everyone pretty much combed out as much of the world as possible before going into Mire to get the hammer.
Well, Plasma Kappa having a couple rage slashes with the fire rod. Not too pleased that the location of Bombos.
But has it, so now can go finish Turtle Rock and then make Kern's or Kappa's way to GT. So, but Kern, so besides that Trolley Hammer location, what any overall thoughts on how that seed played out?
I actually really like that late hammer. I mean, we got so much health early on that I didn't have too much opportunity to embarrass myself. Although I did kind of leave that portal behind at Magic Bat. Because I quick-topped too well.
Yeah, we unfortunately did see that unfortunate mishap.
I was hoping the stream kind of broke there for a second, but I guess not.
Nah, the stream technology was on its game today.
Well, and the most shameful part for the whole seed for me was definitely picking up the map in the sink chest.
See, I think it was about the hour mark when I finally grabbed that chest as well, because I was just like, did I miss something? Am I dumb? Did I forget something in an obvious spot? I was freaking out at that point. So I was like, maybe I miscounted. And nope, there's the map. And I was like, okay, Mire it is then. I guess we'll just give it a shot.
Okay, so that isn't the whole reason that you beat me, because I grabbed the same chest and you didn't?
I don't know. We'll go with that.
No comment.
But yeah, I like that. I like that late hammer. It was almost a hammer go if you ignore the bow and the silverless, or yeah, the silver arrows.
While Walther takes on Ganon here, we have two more finishers. He's just a boy in 6th place with a time of 2 hours, 46 seconds, and Frostbite 3030 right behind him, 2 hours and 48 seconds in 7th place.
If there was anything I wanted to, before I go, the one thing I wanted to take away from this performance was that one triple I got on Agatu with the bug net. That's all I want. That's all I gotta say.
I do actually have one final question I was going to ask you guys before, if you do want to take off, Willard, but which was Zora Titan's mitts today.
I'm upset because I was in that area. I was 12 rupees short, and decided, hey, I have the mirror. Maybe I can find Dark World access, and I can do the whole catfish into Zora check. Of course, it never happens, and of course, it wasn't going to happen in that seed. Oh well.
if it makes you feel any better, at least of the featured runners we saw tonight, all of them basically did 2 trips to Zora to get the Titan's mitts.
I think I was able to single trip it.
And see, this is what happens when you have to watch 4 runners.
Yeah.
You miss things like that.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I was planning on double dipping it, which maybe what you saw is you might have seen me go up there with 200 rupees, but then there was a 300 in the Waterfall Fairy Cave.
All right. Well, Walther is into phase 4 of Ganon. He's got a couple hits already. And with that double...
4.
Yep, sorry, Freako.
Oh, that's all right. I'm just, letting everything go. At this point, interviews, things like that. Don't want to talk over an interview.
No worries. But Walther the 4 has finished in 8th place and has an official SRL time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 3 seconds. GG's to Walther. And Plasma's got into go mode at this point and just going through Turtle Rock. So at least of our featured runners, we should be done here shortly. All right. Well, Walther, if you were wanting to go, we will say thank you for racing tonight, and very entertaining to watch. And everyone, be sure to give Willard a follow and chat, as well as our other runners, Kern, Walther, and Plasma Kappa.
Yo, thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Have a good evening.
You got it. See it.
And as we bring Willard out, we will bring Walther the Fourth in. GG.
Yeah, GG.
GG, man.
So, I've played a couple of Swordless before, but I was always under the impression that you needed to have the hammer in order to use the medallions.
Yeah, about that.
For the tablets, yes.
Okay, yeah, I've never came across like anything like that before, so I just assumed that was the thing. That got me confused for a while.
If it makes you feel any better, at least of the featured runners that we watched, and considering you were 8th of the 21 runners we had tonight, you were not alone in forgetting that small little detail.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Actually, I forgot that detail too, and I was this close to sequence breaking Agatower by doing the barrier skip to get the book, and then I would have been very disappointed if I had done that.
Yeah, about that. The Plasma Kappa reminded us the barrier's not there in Swordless mode.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
No,
sure?
he did go and do Ognum, and the barrier was not there.
That's weird, because it's been there when I played Swordless before, and you needed the hammer or the cape to get past it. But maybe they changed the logic since I played it the last time.
Or maybe there's a super cool glitch we should check out.
I don't know. Either way, I can tell you, Plasma Kappa did AGA 1 searching for the Bombos medallion and got that book, and I'm telling you, the barrier was down.
Oh, did he maybe use the hammer? That's because that's also possible.
And that is what chat is telling us. You can use the hammer breaks the barrier. So that, oh, and also our tracker pointed that out, that I missed, I looked over and saw the barrier down. I missed that Kappa had used the hammer to break the barrier.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, there's a way to get inside there without the cape or the hammer or any swords, but it's definitely a hardcore sequence break.
When I went into Swamp, I was like, if I wasn't gonna find the bow in there, I was gonna do that again. Just because I felt so behind, I had to do something to maybe get an okay time. Because I would imagine that most people double dipped more or less every single dungeon. And searching for that bow, you could have been able to like double dip them again, or like. Well, I guess it wasn't double dipped because we never went back to Ice Palace, for example. But...
No, and there was no need to. Plasma did go to Ice Palace, but we didn't find anything of importance in the Hammerlock locations. And I mean, to your point, Walther, at least of the 4 runners that we were watching on Restream tonight, it was pretty much, you guys were double dipping everything.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you get the hammer laid in like Swordless, because the hammer is so important.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. I mean, I know it's unsanitary to double dip, but it's also kind of fun too.
So is that what everybody was really looking for? Was it gotta find the hammer to really start progressing through dungeons?
Yeah, more or less, I would imagine. Like the hammer normally blocks a lot of things, but in Swordless it blocks even more things. Like Hera, you can't even complete it without the hammer. This is the only way to kill the boss, for example.
So I'd have to look at the times again, because I made notes, and then of course, oh, somebody finished. I don't need these anymore. X'd out of my little notepad, and I think it was almost an hour in when somebody finally collected a crystal out of the 4 runners that we had on the restream.
No, it was, I think, because I know, I want to say Kern was the first to finish Thieves Town, and that was without the hammer, so I believe that was the case.
Again, you know, I trashed my notes, so I might have, you know, gotten a 53 with a 35, kind of just switched around.
No worries at all. It happens. But, Kern, Walther, any final thoughts before we watch Plasma finish off the race?
It was fun. It's interesting when they make dailies that aren't just like open and standards. So I hope they make more like different kind of dailies. And it's nice to have the dailies back again.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Walther, tomorrow, you know, we have just standard and open mode in the 2 races that we're going to have. Standard mode will be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming 6. Open mode will be on Speed Gaming 3 at 9 p.m. But, you know, in the daily races, we have Overworld Glitches on Friday. We have Entrance Shuffle on Monday, July 23rd. We even have Triforce Hunt on Tuesday. So be sure to stick around on the Speed Gaming channels, because these daily races, you're going to see a lot of different options that the randomizer has to offer.
Yeah, amen to all of that. So excited that the dailies are back. And this was a great seed, I think, to showcase some really weird strats, because I think even in Swordless mode, you end up just seeing a lot of hammer. So this was cool to see Swordless other things that aren't hammer, and just to like do and figure out and stuff. So I had a lot of fun. And thanks for restreaming and calming, and thanks to chat for watching as well.
Thank you to both Kern and Walther the Fourth. We had a blast watching you on the restream here. Once again, everyone, please be sure to give both of them a follow on Twitch. They certainly deserve it. You guys are welcome to stick around and watch Plasma finish off the race. If not, good evening to both of you.
Thanks, yeah, take care.
Have a good night.
All right, so let's catch up on the people who have finished. Emo Saru finished 9th with a SRL time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. BBB Kermit, 10th place, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 4 seconds. Hayfield Bay, 11th place, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 2 seconds. Fajita Knight, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 51. And Apathy Duck, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 56 seconds.
Ooh, just 5 seconds.
And the last of our featured runners, Plasma Kappa, is into the gauntlet at this point, having that GT big key. So, I mean, I gotta say, this was a very fascinating race to watch, considering the fact that, Hammer, you know, so exactly to Walther's point of, you don't realize in Randomizer how important that hammer is until you don't have it. And Swordless, this seed tonight really showed how even more important the hammer is in Swordless mode.
Well, I saw a couple very interesting strategies that I don't think I ever would have thought about even considering using in, you know, the standard game. You get the sword, you get, you know, so many more straightforward options that seeing this was refreshing. Just the myriad of options you have to deal with certain bosses, and that you're forced to use them, no less.
It certainly shows the versatility you have to learn in Randomizer, of the fact that you're not always going to be guaranteed to have the item you want to use when it comes around. Like, you know, Vitreous, you'd love to have silver arrows, but sometimes you just got to do it without them.
Now, I will say the one thing that really, I think, helped things along was at least from what we saw, the restreamed runners, they were sitting on 12 hearts within 45 minutes to an hour, so very chill. Using a block to act as a blocker there.
I see what you did there. There's also that's another thing of Swordless mode. You don't have the sword to dash with, so you can't just go charging into those guards that are covering the bridges in the gauntlet.
So that was an inventive way to get through there. It would taken the fall to save a little bit of time. Now it's up the steps, light some more torches, and now Plasma having a little less difficulty, not getting knocked around by Trolldorm this time as much as he did in the first fight.
You didn't learn the lesson. Don't be a thief. Don't steal things that don't belong to you. All right, but Plasma Kappa is into the Geometry Wars and gonna pull out his swag net as well.
Now I'm almost curious, does the net work outside of Swordless in this way?
Yep. That is a thing that has been in there from almost what, 27 years ago when this game was built. Yeah, that swag net can deflect Aga balls. But big pig time for Plasma Kappa.
Oh, now I know exactly what I'm going to do once I'm done here. I'm going to go run right off to my Super Nintendo and play some Link to the Past and have some fun with the bug net.
Ganon with the ever-important thoughts about lights and fridges.
How prophetic. It's, I don't know if you're on the East Coast, but it's 11:27 for me, and that midnight snack is looking like a real possibility tonight. Plasma took a couple hits. I think he can survive one more.
With Red Mail, I believe Ganon hugs do 2 hearts of damage. Yep, as you see, 2 hearts of damage every time he gets hugged by Ganon.
Oh, he's got to be careful now. Oh, he has another blue potion.
2 even. Still in phase 2, though. There's that hammer hitbox for you.
Well, hopefully all of that, and he's done with this phase now. Yep.
He
Put
is.
that staff away.
There is phase 3. All right, here we go into phase 4. All right, there's one.
Oh, second one didn't land. Not going to get the torch glitch.
Ooh, swing and a miss. That'll set him up nice for a triple. 1, 2.
Oh, just got out before the third one landed.
But one more to go. And that should do it.
Bacon.
And Plasma Kappa finishes it off with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 21 minutes and 9 seconds. Spam those GGs in chat. Plasma Kappa in the SRL chat says send help.
Oh, maybe we can offer him a little help now. You want to come in.
All right, we're going to see if we can get Plasma in here for a quick interview. And he is joining us in chat. GG.
Send help.
Meyer
I tried. They wouldn't let me.
Meyer for the hammer and Bombos in the Hera basement.
I got there eventually. I had to believe in my good friend the book first.
Yeah, unfortunately, the book did not help you out this time.
Nope.
But thoughts on the seed overall?
Oh, other than send help. Oh, I should put money for Zora. It would save like minutes.
Yeah, that was one of the trollier locations that I've ever seen of Titan's Mitts for Dark World Access and Zora, when the seed was pretty frugal with the rupees, and then Hammer and Meyer. Most people forgot that you can use medallions to open up Meyer and Turtle Rock without the hammer.
Yes. That sounds amusing.
So, but Plasma Kappa, unfortunately, we do need to get off because we have another race starting here in a few minutes. But major GGs and props to you for toughing it out and finishing the race for us. Any final thoughts?
Send help.
All right, Kappa, thank you very much. Once again, I want to give a shout out to all four of our featured runners today: Kern Walter IV, Willard J. Bradley, Plasma Kappa, Frico. It was a pleasure co-commentating with you tonight. I know this was your first Zelda randomizer, but you did well. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I look forward to doing more commentary in the future.
We also do want to give a shout out to our two trackers, Darkus and Katharina Game. I hope I pronounced that right, but they did a great job keeping track of all of the madness that we saw in this 4-person race. But with that, we have to finish up shop. We have a Celeste race coming up here on Speed Gaming after this. I do real quickly want to remind everyone, Friday, 4 p.m., we will have Christos Owen versus Kion 92 for the top 8 of the standard tournament. But with that, we need to wrap up shop. So thanks again to everyone. Thanks again to the Speed Gaming staff. We will see you next mission.
Have a good night.